Welcome everybody to another episode of Crypto Cliffnotes. Super excited for another interview with a CNFT project. And this one's actually one of the OGs in the space, Ada Ninjaz. We have the creator, we have an individual from Ada Ninjaz. Of course, you got me and Pat, but we want you guys to hear from this project yourself and what they have going on, what's already out there, and what you guys can do to actually get in their community today. So how you doing, Tommy? How's everything going, man?
Good, mate. Jonah, Patrick, nice to be on the show. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Thank you so
Our
much.
pleasure.
Thank you so much. It's crazy. It's crazy because we checked our email not too long ago. We noticed that we saw a message from you, and we were like, damn, we really missed that message. We really wanted to do that. We kind of just been getting into the space in the CNFT space and interviewing a lot of these projects. We just did Deadly Sins, we did Cardopoly, we did Ted Nation, some newer projects in the space. Now we wanted to, branch off and get into the OGs, Ada Ninjaz, Clays, we want to start out, branching out and really bringing, the attention to the CNFT space and how amazing it is. Because shoot, me and Pat were back in the day, we minted Clay Nation, and we saw a lot of these projects coming out and the great things that they can do, and they're very supportive in this community. So we want to bring attention to the CNFT community as a whole, and of course your project as well too. So tell us a little bit about yourself, a little bit of background, where you're from, what got you into NFTs and cryptocurrency, and tell us how the project of Ada Ninjaz even started.
Yeah, I love the reference of calling us OGs. It's really funny to say that because we've only been in the space for 9 months, right? And 9 months in the traditional world is not much time, but in the crypto world, it's crazy. It's crazy, right?
Yes.
So I appreciate that reference. But
Yes.
yeah, a bit about myself. Tommy Bowie, CEO of Ada Ninjas. I got into crypto early last year. So some people might say I'm still a newbie, but dug deep, deep dived into the space, and yeah, next thing you know, I'm deep into crypto. I'm deep into NFTs. Initially started on Ethereum. So my co-founder Dushan, he got me into crypto. Then I was like, okay, this is really cool. But I lost quite a bit of money during that May crash last year.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was just looking for new opportunities to kind of like make money in a sense, right? But when I found NFTs, I was like, okay, there's a whole different opportunity here. It's not just about money; it's about community. Community was massive in this space, right? Because early on, I was just doing everything by myself. Me and Zushan were like, okay, let's do this. Let's jump on this shit coin. Let's jump on these pump and dumps, right? And we had no idea what we we're doing. And then we realized there was a massive community in NFTs. At first, we went to Ethereum, made some money, but then also lost money as well. And we're okay, what's the tech behind it? What's the innovation behind it? How can we get into this, right? And then we were okay, um, you know, uh, proof of ownership, community, and then a crowdsourcing mechanism for us to kind of build our own thing. And so we decided to go deep into NFTs. And then next thing you know, we're in the CNFT space. Heaps of people, very inviting. When we first joined, we connected with NMaker, as an NFT maker pro, and then yeah, they're like, oh, you have a great vision. We want to help you make it happen. And then we went from concept in September to launching in October in about 4 weeks, and we're here today with 3 seasons sold out, and yeah, we've built a lot of products that I can talk about a bit later.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's crazy. It's like all you guys are OGs. I mean, it's so, like you said, it's so early, and what you guys done is pretty cool. With what your art is and your utility and everything like that. But getting into the space, would you say, do you like the community behind Cardano better than Ethereum? Would you say you like them equally? What made you move over to Cardano instead of doing Ethereum?
Yeah, I think there's pros and cons of both communities. So Ethereum is more mature. There's a lot more um, publicity around it. So there's a lot of more big names, especially celebrities, influencers who talk about that space, right? So it's introducing adoption for people who are non crypto. So that's a good thing for our space.
Mhm.
the thing that was missing for us at that point in time when we were doing our research was that there was so much expectation on any Ethereum project when they were launching, in the sense that, okay, you've raised X amount of money, you've sold out your products, now you have to deliver almost immediately, right?
Mhm.
But that's not the case. It's like, okay, if we want to build something long term, or any product at all, it takes time, right? We got to expand the team, we got to find the right people, and we got to create that content plan and project roadmap. The Cardano community was um, a breath of fresh air, in the sense that we came in, we didn't, we weren't expecting to sell out our first season. We just like, okay, we want to build something cool, but all of a sudden there was this massive hype that came through initially for us, and then it was like, okay, now we're building, right? And with the methodology of Cardano as a whole, right? Cardano builds slowly, it builds in the right manner. So it's not about going to market with an unfinished product, right? So a lot of people talk about Ethereum being an unfinished product, and needing to scale and fix things up. But Cardano is like one step at a time, one phase at a time.
Mhm.
So we're like, that's cool, because we want
Yeah,
to do that
Charles
too,
doesn't
right?
rush it.
Yeah, we're like, okay, if Cardano is going to take 2 years to build, in terms of like the full phases, well, we need two years to build our products too, right? So it's not just about, okay, what's going to happen in the next month or two, what's going to happen in the next 6 months, 1 year instead. So
Yeah.
that gave us a lot of breathing room, and the Cardano community are so accepting, right? We launched our alpha game about a month ago,
Hmm.
and we had to delay it by about a week. And the community, there's no FUD, right? If it happened in Ethereum, a FUD would come through, and everyone's like, you told us this.
It's
Now
a
we're
rug
gonna
pull.
sell, yeah, we're gonna sell all our tokens or NFTs, right? But our community was so different. They're like, you know what? Take your time. You want to get the right product out there. We can wait a week, right? A week's not too long for us. So that's the thing that keeps us coming back to Cardano in like one of the pros. And it's a shame that there's not much, I guess, um, people talking about Cardano NFTs and communities, because the people that are here and building, right? Like a lot of the OGs kind of know each other. A lot of the newer projects, we like to support them as well. So it's kind of like, it's a smaller space, but it gives us
Absolutely.
opportunity to create that network and build.
Yeah, I think that's a reason why we love Cardano too. Is like people are very supportive. Very very supportive of each and every each other's projects. Just supportive in each other in general. Like I've seen people like pay for people's NFTs before in Cardano. Like you don't usually see that stuff. People have to make it on their own in this space a lot. And for people that really want some NFTs, the collaborations and the support that's behind this network is amazing. And I think that's why we moved over to Cardano. Of course, like you said, with the long-term mindset of things, people have the more so long-term mindset instead of of course you're going to have your flippers in the NFT space. That's just part of the game. But with the long-term mindset, I see that more so over here in Cardano. People are willing to wait X amount of time. I mean, games, like you said, they take time to create. They take time to make sure that they're actually delivering what you said they would in the game. So, I mean, I think people have that long-term mindset over here. And I think that's a real huge benefit over here too. Pat, take the next one, man.
Yeah. So you said you had 3 drops, right? Is this number one question? I would say, like, is this going to be, is it 3 and finished? And then with the gameplay, I know it's going to be your characters and all. So if you want to go into like a little bit of each drop and how they're going to work with the game, and pretty much we can go from there. I got a couple more questions once you hit them.
Yeah. Well, we initially planned the project to have 3 seasons, and each season represents a specific clan in the universe of Nineveh that we've created. So there's 3 clans: the Arama, the Atsuko, and then the Daisuke. And basically those 3 clans are at war, and they're fighting each other. So it's entwined into the story that we're building, right? There's a lot of clan banter in our server. Once you join in, you have to pick a clan. Obviously you can buy any of the 3 clans, but there are a lot of people that are whales of just of one clan that they're part of, right? And so taking that question to, okay, well, how does that connect to the game? What we want to do is, in the game itself, when you join, you have to pick a clan as well, right? And then you're fighting for your clan. in the game itself. We have special elements that introduce this role playing. So territory clan wars, and so being part of that clan, you will fight for your clan to claim territories and then claim rewards, right, at a much larger scale. So that's one PvP layer element that we've introduced. In terms of introducing your character into the game, we are having discussions about like how we do that, because we have 3 seasons and there's about 600, maybe 700 unique attributes, right? And so having to convert those 2D assets into 3D assets and then implementing into the game might be too much of a resource intensive thing for us to implement just yet. We might do it in phases where it's just shared traits that that gets implemented, but that's a bit more longer term, right? We've built the alpha. Now it's about, okay, well, how do we introduce the token side of things into the game, and then talk about implementing the characters, right? So yeah, there's a lot of talks for us at the moment. We are doing a token launch in the coming months. That's gonna help us, thrive in the play and earn space, because a crypto game isn't a crypto game without a token, right? An in-game currency, that's a token, then also NFT items, right? Well, how do we, on Cardano, first of all, get people to connect their wallets into the game? How do we store that data? How do we get NFT items, minted and burnt and integrated into the game, and then also the in-game currency? So these are all new innovations that we're doing as we go, right? I think Binance Smart Chain, Ethereum, they all have these in place already, but no one has done it yet on Cardano. So everything's a first for us. So it might take a bit longer, might have a bit of more testing to go about. But I think once we crack that that code, or the process, it's so much easier for us to share it to the rest of the Cardano community to kind of implement as well.
Okay, well, you said something about a token drop. So how are you gonna base, like, is everybody getting an even share, or is it gonna be based on rarities? Is it gonna be based on how many you're holding? How you guys plan on doing something like that?
Yeah, so we're taking the traditional route of doing a fundraise campaign. So there will be a small portion of the tokens set out for that. So the actual fundraising mechanism, we haven't finalized just yet, so I'm not too sure if I can share that at this point in time. It may be an ISPO, it may be a traditional private round or public sale. Those are some of the options that we're discussing at the moment. For our three seasons holders, there is a small portion of allocation, so about 5% of the total allocation that we are airdropping and allowing people to claim as rewards for holding as well. So it's not going to be a one-off. You can claim 100% of your allocation of the NFT straight away, because that creates like a sell pressure. So we're going to slowly drip it out, maybe every quarter, for people to kind of claim in that sense. So that's a way for us to reward our holders, but then also introduce new people into the ecosystem.
Gotcha. Okay,
That's awesome. Getting into holding these characters as well, what other benefits do people have for holding these NFTs, whether that's a certain clan or that's a certain trait or a certain rarity? What benefits do these holders have inside your project?
Yeah, the core I guess proposition for us early on was that we are a community driven storytelling project, right? So one of our core products was a manga comic. So we've released about 300 pages of that comic to date, and all the NFT holders have voting rights as to the direction of the story. So we've asked people to name characters, have your actual NFT as a side character displayed into the comic. What action should this character do? So there's all these voting elements that that as one of the utilities for holding the NFT. Obviously, there's different other elements as well. We are introducing a Great Ninjas burn in the coming month, and what that is that there's going to be a massive war, right? All the clans are fighting together. Some will die, but you get, so you're going to burn certain NFTs to get a fourth NFT. This fourth NFT is integral to the story and how it's going to play out in the future. And so it's not going to be an even split of what season needs to get burnt. So it's going to be role playing in a sense. If I'm going to war, I want my clan to survive the most, right? So I'm not going to burn my clan.
Right.
But then if I'm like, okay, well, there's also the incentive, there's incentive to burn more of your clan as well, because it makes your collection more scarce, right? So there's two conflicting, I guess, scenarios as a holder, and how you go about this route. That's an extra utility that we're providing, a more gamified, more social, fun aspect of it. We do also create music, right? So we have a music vertical where Mirai Music, they're on board. They help us create music. It's actually community driven as well. So the community gets to vote on genre. They get to vote on the lyrics. They actually, we have live sessions where people can enter lyrics and then possibly even record their voices, right, to help us with the production. That's something that we've done with the first two songs. We're doing a third one at the moment. Two songs on Spotify at the moment. I think both have about 100,000 streams. So that's a great achievement for us. So that's
cool.
It's different verticals that we're testing at this point in time. It's highly community driven. With the alpha, we're getting a lot of feedback as to how we can improve. But once we understand the gameplay aspects, then it's just about, okay, well, how do we implement the NFTs? What perks do we give them, right? The thing about giving perks to NFTs is that we don't want it to be too overpowered, so that everyone wants it in a sense, because that doesn't make it fair for mass adoption for anyone who's coming in as a new player, and they're getting beaten by this new person. So it might be a cosmetic skin. It might be like a small mini power up in terms of maybe a 1% increase of attack damage in a sense, but we're still figuring that out.
Wow, I like that. I like that because you allow it to, like you were saying, with the two different sides, which way it can go. I think that's pretty cool because you let the community decide what they want to do. Do they want to burn it to create a more scarce and create more rare NFTs for their clan or for their group, or do they go and attack and not allow them to burn their clan, because technically they would have the OGs of the clan and stuff like that. I think that's pretty cool. I like that. In the music, that's pretty dope. Integrating music, you don't see that very much in NFTs, and if you do, it's very rare that they have created a successful project. I don't know many music NFTs or music projects out there doing what you guys are doing, so that's amazing.
Yeah, well, even with the music, right? So for the first song, we said, okay, there's a section of the song where people just say, hey. So record a voice of you saying, hey. And then those people that sent their voices in, we mashed it together, put it into the song. And they're actually a part of the, what do you call it? The, as co-producers or co-writers, right? In the metadata
cool.
of the songs. Yeah.
It's very unique. It's unique. You throw it all together. That's pretty cool. Pretty
Definitely.
cool.
All right, so here's one for you. For a new person coming in, just getting to look at your project, if you were going to grab something from the marketplace, any certain side you would lean towards, certain projects, certain traits? Obviously, usually grabbing rare stuff is a big deal. What would your suggestions be?
Okay, so when we introduce the token, we will be, each season will have their different benefits, right? So season 1 will get a higher amount of airdrop, but then season 3 might get a higher amount of staking rewards, daily staking rewards, right? So my recommendation would always be to get one of each clan, because it gives you access to all the different type of utilities.
Right.
But then also, it allows you to potentially be part of the burn, right? With the burn, you have to burn one of each clan plus a fourth clan of your choice. And so that's how you gamify it. That's how you get introduced and be part of the system. The staking rewards and the airdrops will be based on rarity as well. So we're using CNFT tools as a source of data, and it will be tiered. So rank 1 will get the most rewards versus rank 8888, right?
Okay.
But when you burn, there is a chance for you to get a lot more rewards. So I'm just going to say, I would recommend buying floor or lowest rank and
Okay.
burn, because it gives you the maximum opportunity to get rewards.
Gotcha.
That's all I'm going to say at this point in time.
Perfect. That's good enough.
It's
A little hint.
Yeah, that's some alpha. That's some alpha right there.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, do you guys plan on being in any type of metaverse, joining a metaverse, creating your own metaverse, anything along the lines of that?
I think that conversation is continuing to occur, right? Because at the moment, there isn't an existing metaverse that's functional, that has player adoption. Everything's all speculation. Yes, everyone's building, and we see a lot of promise, but we're not going to put resources into that until we see a proven product, right? And we're looking at Ethereum as a really big use case, or a proof of concept, right? Because you have Sandbox, Decentraland, who are the two biggest players and have had the biggest narrative, right? And I think Decentraland only has about 1,000 users per day, right? Going through their metaverse or their sandbox. And can you imagine 1,000 people in a massive world, metaverse, you can say? So it's kind of, it hasn't proven to us to be the next thing yet, right? So when it happens, we will go deep into it, right? Partnerships, what's happening out there? How do we port our characters into the game? How do we, buy land or have a presence there for our community to kind of experience, right? So there's a lot of projects, and I won't name any of them, but just the overall space. There's heaps of promising projects. We are in contacts with them. We're just waiting for the right time to kind of make it happen, in a sense.
I mean, hey,
Smart.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, that's smart. I mean, you never know. Especially right now, a lot of people are creating these projects with the term metaverse and using it so loosely. And it's like, what have you done so far to create this metaverse? You know what I mean? I always ask those questions whenever I join a Discord or new project or anything like that. How far along have you guys been developing this metaverse, or how long have you been developing this game, and stuff like that? So I think that's smart on your guys' part to do that, to see, okay, what's going to be the best option for us to do that. And then, going from there. I think that's the best thing to do, in my opinion.
We also had an opportunity to introduce some sort of a metaverse in our game as well, right? Because once you have multiplayer, you have the backend infrastructure to kind of support some level of social lobbies. So we're thinking, okay, maybe we introduce social lobbies in a smaller scale where ninjas can come in and kind of move around and chat to each other, not to the full scale of the metaverse, but we were like, okay, well, that's going to pull resources into actual us building the action game that we want, right? Because we're building a lot of mini games into the game. So we're thinking 100 to maybe 1,000 different mini games that people can come in and play. So it's not just one arena that you versus another person, but it's like mini dungeons or raids that you can build within a small sandbox. We're thinking of pushing it that boundary rather than, hey, let's just have a space that people can kind of jump around and have a chat, because it's not serving the purpose that we want.
Yeah, and that way more communities grow. I mean, if you do something, I mean, like you said, once they go live, we'll see what happens. There's so many of it that sound good, but even like you said, look at the numbers with Sandbox right now, the Decentraland, and they are like 1 and 2 right now. You know what I mean? And we'll see. It's getting there. And like you said, and the technology is moving so fast, it wouldn't shock me in 6 months if the metaverse is already gone and it's something new.
Yeah.
Who knows?
There's so much promise. I love seeing demos of characters running around, buildings afloat, because it's like, okay, well, how do communities come into this space? Because there's so much ways you can interact, whether it's actual mini games in the metaverse, maybe it's like storefronts, advertising. This whole virtual space realm is open to a lot of ideas, right? But it's just ideas at the moment. Nothing's been implemented. That's all.
Right.
Absolutely.
It sounds good. I can't wait to see it though. It's cool to be part of it.
I say the next 3 to 5 years. I think next 3 to 5 years we'll see something being delivered. The next 3 could be less. That's just my speculation right now. It's 3 to 5 years. I think we'll see something actually deliver on what we call the metaverse, or this virtual world and virtual reality, whatever it is that everyone calls it. But Yeah, that's awesome. Pat, did you have anything else that you want
No, I
to?
mean, you guys ever looking into doing maybe like comics and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, so our manga comic, we release about 20 pages every fortnight,
Okay.
and it's on our website at the moment. And
Like, are the members allowed to purchase it?
so it's all available online for people
Okay.
to read. So not
Gotcha.
just the NFT holders. We have a limited edition NFT link, physical copy that you can actually purchase. I think there's about 10 left on NFT Link's website.
Okay.
They actually have 2 chips. So the first chip takes you to an online reading experience, and then the back chip gets you to a minting page where you mint a certificate of authenticity for that actual comic.
Okay.
And yeah, there's about 10 left. It's plastic sealed, so as a collectible item, you don't have to open it. You can still have the reading experience, mint it and keep it in storage, or open it up and read it for yourself. So yeah, we do.
Cool. You have to check that out.
Yeah, me too. Me
That's
too.
really cool.
That's awesome.
And I mean, I think we touched base on most stuff. You got any more for them?
No, not. I don't personally have any more questions regarding the project or anything like that. But did you have anything else, Tommy, that you wanted to share with us? Any alpha you can give the community? Anything that you wanted to share? Maybe anything upcoming that you guys have going on that you wanted to share that people can kind of keep an eye out on?
Yeah, right now, I think our attention is, a lot of the attention's on making the game happen. We have the alpha out. We have, people testing it. We have feedback. But now it's about what, as a game ecosystem, how do we make it the best it can be, right? All the elements, the UI, UX interface. How do we make sure that we adopt not just the Cardano community, but people from outside the Cardano community, either in Ethereum, as cross chain, but then also the wider gaming community. We're having conversations every day about this because it's a lot harder than we initially thought in terms of understanding, gamers as a whole, and then how do you bring them over. So that's something that we're continuing to build. There will be some news coming out about the game and how we plan to kind of develop that in phases. There might be another game studio, or multiple game studios that we on board just to help us make it happen in the timeframes. But that's our focus at the moment, pretty much.
Are you going to be able to like rent other people's characters? To see if you don't own an NFT?
So we thought about that, right? So we want it to be, because we looked at a lot of games. A lot of games you have to own an NFT to actually go in and play as a character,
right?
Or if you wanted to build something, then you have to sell land or you have to purchase that land, right? So we were like, okay, if some of the statistics and the insights we've received is that if your game doesn't have about 20,000 active users per day, then you're not really a game yet, right? Because you want big adoption. There's about 3 billion people playing games in the world, right? So how do you introduce those people into your game? If you have 20,000 NFTs and you limit, people, you limit people playing the game by holding NFTs, you will only ever have 20,000 people playing the game, right? So it's about understanding, okay, how do we make it free to play, but then also perks on top for NFT holders? So it will of course be free to play for everyone, and then if you own an NFT, there'll be benefits. We're still contemplating the concept of land sales because we have a build and earn element, right? So you actually, instead of us building the games and arenas for people to play, you guys can come in, use the built arena editor, build your own, I guess, arena, and then people can go in and fight, and you will earn rewards that way, right? But if we lock it to, let's say, 10,000, 20,000, however many thousand you say, cool, we'll make some revenue out of that, but we lock the ecosystem to that limited number,
right?
So
like
that's something that we're still contemplating. Yeah, we're still contemplating it. There's pros and cons of each approach, and it might be a mixture of both, right? Because let's say you have to pay. Like everyone can use the editor, but you have to pay to upload your game into the world map or something. So some stuff we're considering at this point in time.
Cool. Yeah, just wanted to check that out because I know, like you said, there's other projects that are considering that as like ways for income and stuff like that. But with the numbers you said at 20,000, you're gonna need, like you said, you're gonna need to attract a lot more than that total mint. So free to play always works. That always works. People like free.
Hey, free it's for me. Absolutely. But Tommy, again, thank you so much for, getting up on here with us and talking about your project. If you guys like what you saw, I'm going to go ahead and put the details down below. Their Twitter, website, Discord, secondary marketplace, all of that's going to be in the description down below in this video. Again, Tommy, thank you so much for hopping up on Crypto Cliff Notes and sharing this out. We'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.